Sorry, my daughter was fighting with my son. So, God has been speaking to me about the finality, the destiny. Stop fighting. I'm trying to make a video. Stop. God has been speaking to my heart about the destination of where you're going because it's final. He can play with that. He can play with that, Leela. You can share. And you weren't even playing with it then. Okay, so please be cooperative. It's like what matters is like where you're gonna go after you die. That's what matters, because when you're in hell you can't get out, and it's forever. And that's the thing. Like when I was watching those hell testimonies, I was like, oh my goodness, like, and God is like helping me with like a lot of like anger and rage, because, and of course, a lot of it is righteous anger. So, but some of it is not, like, and you don't want to live in that, like, and I think that people get it wrong, because it's not to say that you're not going to get angry, but is it like a stronghold? That's what I'm trying to say. And that's where, like, I just don't want to go to hell, and I'm scared too, like, because it says in the Bible we should work out our fear, we should work out our salvation with fear and trembling. So that's the thing, is like for me to realize that, like, dang, like, God would have to save my parents and work on them, because I'm trying to save my own self, and then I have children. And so if you could just pray for me and my children, because my son is on the run, and I don't really talk to my daughter because of our history of us being victims of domestic violence. And I think it's important to the life lessons of, like, when you have a child, it's like your godly duty to protect them. And that's the thing that I struggled a lot with anger, because the truth is that, my parents did not protect me. And yeah, they had trauma and they had issues, but they didn't do right by me. That's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, I forgive them, but it's not but even though I forgive them, that doesn't mean that I could have contact with my father, which I didn't for 8 years. Because the last time I talked to him, I was homeless, and then he was like yelling at me about, like, I don't know, he was like blaming me for the situation that my ex got me in. And there's a lot of stuff that's happened since I was a child and till now. But it's the point of me making this video is, like, the point is what does God say? That's the point, is like, are we keeping our focus on God? Because it's like, I can't do anything without God, and it's only the power of God in me that I can do anything. Like, it says, but not by my might, but his might be done. And the same is like, I am made my strength is my strength is made perfect in weakness. I'm sorry, I don't get much sleep, and I go to make these videos and then I don't even like edit them right. But not by my might, but his will be done. And my strength is made perfect in my weakness. So it's, the thing is that whatever situation that we're going through, it's not too big for God. And it's the waiting, because everybody has different life purposes, and the waiting, mine is like patience. And it's like, I will admit that it's difficult for me to wait on God, because I want something done now or when I want it. And a true loving father, just like, your own children, it's like they want like dessert before dinner or something, and you're like, no. It's the same thing. God knows, like, it's not the right time, because his timing is perfect. And even though we don't see, and I'm just kind of struggling, because I was posting my situation, my testimony, and I got a lot of comments where people are like, oh, leave your abuser. I already left him 3 years ago, and the focus is how God delivered me from that abusive relationship. It's like people are focusing on that I said that I was being abused. Yeah, but that was in the past. I don't know, it's just, oh, I don't know what that was. Oh no. Well, maybe I can tape it. I'm sorry, honey. Yeah, you give me the leg, her pony leg broke. Is like the focus is like that God delivered me, and that's, as Christians, we should have hope. It's like you don't want to have unbelief and disbelief, because like that's what's bothering me, is like people don't have faith, and so they're like, they don't know how I got a new home. They don't understand how I have money. They don't understand how the Lord provides for me and my children. They don't understand how we have food and a car and a home, and I'm disabled and I have money because God blessed me with that. But it's what people don't realize is that I was once homeless. I was once poor. I once lived in poverty for a long, long time. And then also you have people that think that, that like because of my race, then I don't have any money. So there's two sides of the coin, but the thing is like the focus is on what God can do. That's the thing. And that's why if a lot of people have a worldly mindset where it's like, they're like, oh, well, how are you going to get money and all this? And there are bad ways to get money. Like I fell into that trap too. So, and then you curse your finances and all that. But like to live in poverty is a curse, but that doesn't mean that like there shouldn't be help for people that need food. I go to the food bank. My mom goes to the food bank for me. I get a food assistance, but it's like people want to put me down because of that. That was not my goal. I didn't want to grow up and be on food assistance. I was abused. That's the reality, is that women are abused. But it's like this thing where it's like I'm a truth teller because God requires that of me. But I feel like a lot of people want me or other Christians to tickle their ears, and we as Christians, we suffer. Long suffering is one of the virtues of the fruit of the Spirit. You are not going to not suffer. So I don't know where people get this from, and they also do. There's a lot of like unfair judging, like, oh, well, you're poor, or because I don't have I'm working on my finances. It's not where I want to be. I'll just say that. So, and then people are like, well, that's your fault, or they act like something's wrong with me, like as if people don't suffer, as if people, maybe they didn't have parents that helped them, like my parents. Like, yeah, my mom helps me, but it's not, everything is not what it seems. She helps me, but she's unable to be the mother that I wanted her to be or need her to be in other areas, and things like that. So it's like, that's what bothers me, is like, it's like this world view of like, oh, you grow up, everything's perfect, and then you get married and you have kids and you have money and you don't ever suffer. And that's not what the Bible says. The prophets, it's like Jesus's disciples, they were laughed at, they were mocked, they were spit at, they were stoned, they were jailed. It's like, it's like suffering. That's a part of the human experience. But I think as Christians, when I started to tell my testimony, I was weeping because the comments of Christians of my walk and to their walk, they were ashamed because, I told my testimony, and it's just because someone didn't suffer like I did, and no one should ever have to suffer the way that I did. I just want to make that clear. No one ever should have to be harmed and targeted and victimized and assaulted and abused. And I will admit that my case was extreme, and that's why I wanted to make this video and make my channel, to show that like this is what God has done for me and my kids. God is a God of restoring. And it doesn't matter your past or what you went through, God will restore your life like he restored my life, like he's restoring my life now. I just wanted to post videos that showed like my real human suffering. But I would also like to post more videos about what God is doing, and like my testimony of like me knowing Jesus when I was younger, and me getting a teen Bible, and how God convicted me with how he convicted me to never get an abortion. That's why I never got an abortion. So that's why when I hear a lot of people online and they're like, oh, you know, like, why did you have all these kids if you couldn't protect or provide for them? Well, because I have always provided for my children, but I was being abused. And so that was what, it wasn't me that was interfering. It was who I had children with, and my children are a blessing, but it was a generational curse that happened when I was younger. And people don't realize when you meet a guy that's older than you, when you're underage, it's a form of abuse. Not all the time. In my situation, it was. Obviously, if you meet an underage girl and you're an adult man, clearly that's a red flag of an abuse. But nobody taught me that. So I just would like really want people to really, and I know most of my subscribers and viewers are Christians. That's what I think. But I really want people to keep in mind, like, you don't know if that person could have been abused from birth. And that's what I've seen. A lot of people is judging me. But when I say like, hey, you know, like, I met my ex when I was underage and he was an adult man, and my parents, you know, they didn't do right by me. That's a nice way to put it. And then they don't have anything to say, because how do you know what someone went through if you don't know them personally? It's just, and I think it has a lot to do with sexism, and I know it is the devil, but I just wanted to say that if you like need to forgive your parents, and you need a miracle in your family's life, God will give you that miracle. God will answer your prayers, because he answered my prayers. And God doesn't want anybody to go to hell. And I know that I'm not very good with making videos, because I don't really have time to edit and do it. But I hope this video blessed someone.